Hi, you all just finished a U-Try where I asked you about a function, and I asked you, is it one-to-one? And if it is one-to-one, to find the inverse. The function that I gave you was f of x equals 3x minus 4. So let's decide if it's one-to-one first. So if it's one-to-one, we're looking at, does every x just go to one y value? And does every y just go to one x value? So for all of our x's, if I substitute an x in, I would multiply it by 3, which would just give me one number. And I would take that and I would subtract 4, which again would give me one y value. For the y value, if I have an f of x, which is another word for y in this notation, and I need to solve for the x, I would probably add 4 to both sides, which again would just give me one number. And then I divide both sides by 3, so I would just get one x value when I try to solve. Okay? If you like the more visual look at it, we know that this is a kind of diagonal line, has a slope of 3, has a y-intercept of -4, kind of like that. And it would pass the vertical line test just fine. It would also pass that horizontal line test. So yes, it's one-to-one. So is it one-to-one? Yes. Okay. So then we get to find the inverse. So to find our inverse, we're going to switch the x and y and solve for y. So when I switch the x and y, we're going to have x equals instead of f of x equals. And I'm just going to use a y over here for the x. 3y minus 4. So we're just switching the x and y. Then I'm going to solve for y and I'll get it back into a function notation at the end. So from here, I would add 4 to both sides. So I'll have x plus 4 equals 3y. And then I'll divide both sides by 3, okay? So really I'm going to have y equals, and then I have x plus 4 over 3, and I know with just a regular x like that, it's a linear function. So let's get that in a format that's a little more recognizable to us, which I think would probably be slope-intercept form. So 1x over 3, that would be 1/3 x, and 4 over 3 would be 4/3. Okay, so that's what I would do with this. And then the last thing we'll do is just get it back into a function notation. It is the inverse of that f function, so I'm going to use the f inverse of x notation equals 1/3 x plus 4/3. And there's our inverse.